All right, we are back with Real Talk episode, I don't know, 32, 31,
32.
32. We've
Hello,
got her back again with us, Shercole King. Yay!
everyone.
Thank you so much for joining us again, Shercole, this year, kicking off our 2026. We're really glad to have you.
Hey, thank you. I'm glad to be here again.
So, for all of our listeners, if you do not know Shercole King, you should, or you can go back last May and listen to our first episode with her. But we are so excited to have Shercole back again. She is our amazing colleague, and she is our ViaLink Vice President of Administration and Operations, which basically means she does everything and keeps our agency running. She is so amazing. She has been a devoted and passionate employee of ViaLink for years. And so we're going to dig in some to Shercole's professional journey, talk about her amazing and innovative programs that she's created for our ViaLink staff, including wellness initiatives and creating a company culture of togetherness, even though we might be remote at times. And of course, we're going to be talking about our annual fundraising event, Shercole's Baby, the Marguerite Redwine Awards. So let's dig in. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. So let's just dive in. So everyone at V-Link knows you because you have been so involved in supporting every department and formed so much connectedness across the agency. Could you give us a rundown of your career history and what brought you to your current position?
So I had a like to at ViaLink, I've had a really random all over the type of thing. I've actually been at ViaLink as of last November, 14 years I've been at ViaLink. I started at ViaLink as I think my first position was something dealing with like data, I don't remember data entry, something, whatever it was like so long ago. And I kind of moved up over the time, working in different positions, specifically at that time in the Homeless Management Information Systems Department. And outside of that, I kind of moved into operations. I think what brought me more into operations, I've always done operations outside of work. So I do consulting work before as a technical a provider for in homeless management, data analysis consulting. I do small business development on the side. So I did a lot of different things in their arena. So that kind of brought me to my of being involved in operations overall. How I actually got to ViaLink in the first place was I actually did a consulting gig for them before I started at ViaLink a long time ago. I did their website, their first HMIS website. I was just a consultant for the website. And then my boss of the time, Clifton Harris, he had asked me about a position here. It was never nothing on my mind. I was not thinking about being in this field at all. And then he asked me about it, and I don't know. I wish I could remember what words he said that made me, like, you know what? Maybe I will give this a try. So shout out to Cliff because he must have been really convincing because I've been here 14 years.
Oh,
Well,
wow.
I bet Cliff is so glad he did. You're like his right-hand man. Well, that is amazing. I knew you had already been working at ViaLink long before I got there, but I didn't know it was that long. That is
Yeah,
amazing.
it didn't feel like it, but I'm like, yeah, I was like, oh, because I looked at it one day, I was like, oh gosh.
So you've seen kind of this whole evolution of ViaLink, which brings me to
Mhm.
my next question because we were smaller even back when I started in 2018 as an agency, and we all worked out of an office. And then as we began to expand, well, one, COVID happened, so we all went remote, but then the agency actually was able to kind of be creative from that chaos, and we kept a somewhat remote model for a lot of the different departments, which allowed us to really expand in our hiring and in our capacity. And you have really been like so digging in and dedicated to so many amazing employee engagement and support endeavors, from things like our LinkedIn wellness newsletter to in person with virtual parties, employee wellness and togetherness activities. I think y'all just did vision board bingo.
Yeah,
Um,
we had the vision board bingo. Yeah, we have a
yes.
pop-up shop in the conference room too.
Oh, amazing. I mean, truly amazing. What has inspired you for these projects, and do you have a favorite one that you've taken on?
Oh, that's tough. So what really inspired me is like over the time, even before COVID, it's been important for us to like not necessarily to build something that's like more of a creative space, a safe space for everyone to feel like they can be communicated, be heard, just be them, and be able to feel supported by their management and be able to talk to their management. I learned a lot, especially working under Cliff about, just trying to create environments where people feel like they can come talk to you and feel supported and, actually have a chance to be who they are and maybe even create things. And I think he built that so well for me that it just continued on to be something that's important to me. And also by me sitting on a lot of boards, that also is like really played a part in like trying to figure out ways to give people a chance to just be able to be involved and just feel like they're being heard in a different ways. As far as initiatives, one of my favorites is probably the newsletter, mainly because I just like finding the right gifts to put on them. I take it really serious. Like, what is the right gift for the right section? But no, outside of that, it's just like finding professional. Like my favorite is probably finding professional development. For different people. So outside of like we just did a management training series. Outside of that, sometimes people come to me about, I want to learn such and such or learn about that. So finding someone to like mentor them or do different things so they can, get a range of learning new skills and learn about potentially another area they wanted to be in. That's been really important. And I really get excited about seeing people wanting to grow and feel like it just grow overall in their professional development. So that's really important. And I think that's probably one of my favorite things. And that's kind of more of like an unofficial initiative that we have.
It is amazing. I loved that management series. That was so like I learned a lot and it was so great of all of us to be able to like do that together too. I think it
Right. I think that was the best part is that we were able to all come together and really, dig a little deeper and have those conversations.
yeah, kind of reducing those silos, which we're always endeavoring to
Hmm.
do.
Hmm.
That's amazing. What is your opinion is the most important aspect of creating positive and supportive agency culture?
I think the main thing is for to have ways to be helpful in ways that everyone is starting to feel a part and feel supported in the ways that they need. And I think a part of like having so many people who are working remote is that everyone's going to need something that looks a little different for them and just trying to figure out those ways that everyone feels supported. Because I think once you build a culture of support, you build a culture where people feel more comfortable come to you about like, whatever's going on and how they feel to like, oh, if something's going on with work, well, let me go to my supervisor and figure out how we can work together to come up with a solution for that or for whatever is going on personally. And so I think that's been important. It's just trying to figure out little small ways here and there that everyone can feel like they're included in the agency, that they're important, and as well as like they are being heard in this agency overall, no matter where they're at. Even though this might most of our organizational chart, everything, the programming is mainly in Louisiana. We have employees all over the country. We want everyone to feel like they're a part of our family, a part of what's going on in Louisiana as well. So just trying to keep everyone engaged in a way that works best for them is like really important to me in how we help continue to create connective environments in our agency.
I love that. And I think you create so many different like layers of involvement so that like just like you said, it's like I always think there was this one episode of some TV show I was watching where they were calling it their work was making them do forced fun. And that
Oh,
it's like never that, where it's like there's just all of these like opportunities and different kind of layers, like even thinking about like the Halloween party where it's like you could be there in person or you could participate virtually or you could just email in a costume, which is what I did, or you could just vote, or you didn't have to do any of it if you didn't want to
right.
feel like being a part. It's just like that. There's just so many different ways where if that makes you feel more, you know, whatever, can't think of my word, like enjoyment out of your profession to be more involved or less involved or whatever. Like there's no pressure on what makes you a good employee. It's just to make sure that you're getting whatever support or whatever involvement that you would like.
I think that's the most important thing. It's like make sure that it's optional because right, it's the forced fun. Like I hear about like friends and like people who like they're for like everyone has to do like a social presentation or they have to do something like that and everyone has to do it. I'm like, no, you should not make people have to do those things. If it's something that if they feel comfortable sharing, you want to build an environment so one day maybe they will feel comfortable sharing or being involved or wanting to teach a class or tell people about, their hobbies or stuff like that.
Yeah. So, what do you think can be the biggest challenges when you're creating like a connected and supportive agency, especially when you are considering that there is so much remote staff?
I think that is the biggest issue is just trying to understanding that the dynamics are going to always be different because we technically we have two offices. We have a remote office as well as people around the country. So just trying to remember that, it's not going to be one size fit all. And you're not, and also not everyone wants to be engaged in the same way. Some people that just want to, work, they don't want to talk about it, and that's fine. But also there's other people who, need a little more encouragement. There are people who need a little more communication. And I think like from our management series is that biggest thing one of the biggest things I took away is just like everyone needs something a little different, and it's up to us to just be able to listen to them and try to figure out ways to work with them. And it's going to unfortunately look a lot different because we have so many different communities of employees that we're trying to cultivate.
Yeah, even just different hours thinking about that
Right,
with
yeah,
like
and that's
the
the other thing. The hours, yeah, we're all over.
yeah, all over the place. I mean, I don't think we have anybody that just works business hours, but basically it's
You're probably right.
or like strictly only business hours.
Right.
But so yeah, that's intense, Nicole.
And also, are there any sneak peeks on any future projects or ideas you may have that you could share with us?
That's
So a couple of things we might be doing we're going to be doing coming up. One later in this year is going to be like we're going to do a volunteer month. So a part of like wellness also is being able to help others and just getting out there and maybe meet new people. So we're going to try to come up with a plan where it's going to be for in person, where we have some projects around in the different main cities where we have people in Louisiana, as well as some virtual and remote options so everyone can feel a chance to be a part of some type of volunteer project. That's one of the newer things. And a lot of our other initiatives is mainly surrounding us doing more external work and how we're going to start creating new ways for clients and people to be able to focus on their wellness, such as like with the great trainings that Sharon and her team is doing. Also, like with care navigation, like that's one of the biggest things. Like we're doing these things with care navigation and like living skills and how those things are part of like self-care and wellness, because not everyone, some people need a little extra help. They need some type of thing, and that's a part of being well, is being able to ask for help and be able to get those resources they need to be able to move forward. So we're going to be doing a lot more of that as well.
that sounds awesome. I'm excited. I don't know
Yeah.
why when you said that we would be doing like in-person volunteer and then like figuring out a
Mhm.
virtual one, I was like, are we going to do a telethon? But that's not a thing.
You know,
But
I haven't seen a telethon. Don't give me any ideas. Like,
we
bring
have a
back the
very they have a very
telethons.
good episode of Full House about a telethon. Well, so we're I have just okay, so I got myself mixed up, but I got it now. So we love to talk self-care. I'm throwing our script on off, Jesse. Sorry, but
No, you're good. You're good.
so here's the real. But so clearly, as we've been talking to you, it's like not only is your position at V-Link so busy, then you're just like casually being like, oh, and I'm on boards and do consulting, and so you are a very, and I know that you are always also going and learning more things and doing professional development for yourself as well. You stay so busy and are so passionate. But how do you manage that with being so busy, especially with something that you are so passionate about as your career? How do you kind of balance that your own self-care with that?
So the main thing, the way I'm doing is, especially lately, is it's been important to make sure I'm continuing to build and cultivate my community outside of work, those people who are important to me, making sure I'm making time for those relationships and getting a chance to let them feel back into me. Because I think that's one of the ways, like sometimes I can get so caught up and like I'm just in my own world. And I think that's been a way that's been helping me balance, is being able to cultivate my relationships more with my friends.
Yeah.
That's really been one of the biggest ways to help with balance. And also, my other thing is like I've stopped doing this thing where I'm trying to do a million things at a time. I set on side on my calendar, this day I'm focusing on these things, and then I have my to-do list, and I continually start to tell myself, you only can do so much in a day. So I have to remind myself. So the thing is mainly me giving myself reminders that it's just me and I need to, have some type of balance and not to overdo it. And that's the main way I've been working through that, to get some balance.
Well, and I will peek behind the curtains because Shercole's calendar today I saw said no meeting. So we are very thankful that you that you recorded with
Yeah,
us and made
that's
an
the other thing
exception
I've
for
been
us.
doing, trying like, some days so I can actually get things done.
Well, thank you for letting for letting us infiltrate the no
But
meeting
I feel
day.
like this is
Yeah,
self-care, so
yeah,
this
thank
is
you.
fine.
And what would be your go-to self-care activity?
So it's a couple, but like my main one I've been into lately is collaging. So I go to art collage classes, and like I'm really getting better at it. So my goal is like I want to at some point this year be able to showcase one of my collages at a small, little small exhibit. So
Oh,
that's been my one of my biggest hobbies. That's really been helpful for me and relaxing and just because I can just focus on, just the creation of how I want to do it. Outside of that, I love massages, so I go to monthly massage as well as I like to travel. So that's the main thing. I always plan out my travel in advance, so I always have something to look forward to, to rise to the occasion. Like, yes, I know this trip is coming up, and I'm excited about it. So that's like the main three areas I've been dabbling in the most with my self care.
that's awesome. I didn't know you did collage art. That doesn't surprise me because you're so visual and you
I'm
always like when
still
you
not
decorate
good
the
at it. I'm
things, you're
still
great.
not that good, but I'm, getting a little better. I have tools and stuff now, so I'm progressing.
I can't wait to see. We get to go to your if you do like a show, we get to go.
Of course, I'll make sure to let you know.
Okay. Um, so I'm going to pivot us a little bit so that we can be sure that we can plug the Red Wine Awards, another endeavor of yours that you have made into this really amazing event. Last year's was incredible. It's the first time Jesse and I got to meet in person, so we thank you for
Yeah,
Yes,
that.
yeah, Jesse
yeah,
came to town. That was great.
Yeah,
yeah.
so you have like, I mean, really done such an amazing job building this event. Could you give our listeners just a brief history of the Marguerite Redwine Awards and what the event is currently all about?
Okay, so the Marguerite Redwine Awards, we're in our third year. This will be our third year, which will be happening on June 4th, 2026. That's a Thursday. The award started is pretty much as an appreciation to one of our former CEOs who pretty much built this company up, built VLink up as a whole, as well as one of the people who got some of the original 211 lines to be able to be brought into Louisiana. It's based off of Marguerite Redwine, who passed away. We wanted a way to honor her, and we thought one of the best ways to honor her was through actually creating an awards for nonprofits and actual individuals just doing great things in our community around the state. We did thought that would be the best way to continue her legacy, and we've been kind of growing it every year. So this year, well, last year was our first year. We had three awards. That was the first year that we had three awards, and we're going back into having three awards. One focused on homelessness, one like of an overall community award, and just one of people who are just doing great things in the community. So we just want to make sure we continue to honor different people and how great and how much work that is happening around Louisiana as a whole. I think sometimes we just forget about all of the people who are doing so much. A lot of us get to see it, and especially like someone like Sherrard, she gets to go around the state and see all of these great organizations doing the work. But we want to make sure that we get a chance to honor some of those people over time. So that's a part of what the awards luncheon is about. Last year it was at the Audubon Tea Room. It's going back to Audubon Tea Room, which is a beautiful, beautiful location for an awards luncheon. We have a good time last year, and it's going to be again this year. Malik Mingo
Oh,
will be
yay.
coming back, and he's very much so a fun time and a great host for the awards. So we're going to have some good treats and different things happening at the awards that are going to be excited to learn more about VLink as well as to learn about other nonprofits and just do some networking and learn about all the great stuff going on in Louisiana.
I think it's so wonderful, like fitting into VLink's mission, because I think so much of what VLink does, I like to say, is that we really try and be that connection and like that
Right.
Yeah.
we're never trying to recreate the wheel of what other wonderful agencies are doing. We want to make sure that people know about it and that we can fill in any gap that they may need, which could be
Hey,
data, which could be the 24-hour helplines, whatever that might be. So I think the Red Wine Awards just so exemplify that of connection and of celebrating these wonderful agencies which make us able to do what we do. I mean, 211
hey.
couldn't exist without there being so many people doing so much amazing work and things like that. So
Yeah.
I love it. And last year's
Yeah.
was awesome. And it seems like this year's will be
Oh
even
yeah,
better.
we have some good treats. It's going to be exciting. So you're definitely going to be in for some great stuff this year.
And I know you mentioned a little bit about next year. Is there anything that you can tell us what we can expect from this year's awards event?
So you can definitely expect we're gonna have a new jazz band. We're gonna have some
Yay.
fresh energy, so for some people to try out some new things. New speakers. I'm not gonna say, but we're gonna have some good speakers this year. But we're also gonna have more time for people to actually connect.
Mhm.
So that was one of the biggest things is that we want to make sure that we give people a little more time to connect with people all around the room from all of these great agencies. And great food. We're gonna have some great food. That's one thing you can count on.
Always food. Food and music. What else
Yeah,
can you do
food
with
is
an event in New Orleans?
important.
Are we gonna have the spinny wheel game again? Because that was really
We're
fun.
gonna have the game and some great prizes, so you don't want to miss out on the prizes and raffles that we're gonna have at the awards. You're going home with something at the Red Wine Awards.
And a warm heart. And
And a warm, yeah, definitely you're gonna have a warm heart as well.
it really is an amazing event. So, for anyone who would like to attend or if they'd like to donate, where can someone find information about the awards?
So if you go on vialink.org, right at the top, you will see a little link, a little banner at the top telling you about the Marguerite Redwine Awards. If you could click on that, you can find all the information about the awards. And also, if you have somebody that you would like to nominate for an organization to actually get one of the awards, you'll be able to do that at that link as well.
So,
That's really awesome.
yeah, visit our website, vialink.org. We will also be having a lot of posts on our social media. So you can look at us on Facebook and Instagram. That's vialink211. It'll be on our LinkedIn as well. So please just, one, just follow us because we're cool and
Yeah.
and we work hard on our social media. And two, we would love to see people out at the Red Wine Awards or like Shercole mentioned, nominating an agency that you know about that is doing so much good work because that's the best kind of nominations is we want it
Right.
to hear from the people who are using it because you can almost kind of get kind of stuck in like if there's an agency that like we so commonly refer to or what
Hmm.
have you, and then we want to make sure we're always hearing from everyone.
Yeah.
Right. And I also want to say, I'm just want to say to both of you, I'm so proud of you guys. The real talk, it's been wonderful getting a chance to just hear the things that you guys have on your mind. Also, everyone who's been on the show has been people I've never heard of. So I really appreciate you guys for bringing people that I would have never known anything about and just getting a chance to hear everyone's different perspectives on everything. I really appreciate your show and can't see what y'all do this year.
Oh, thank you,
Thank
Shercole.
you.
Which also then plug also for our other show, Shercole's show. That is a tongue twister. Big Impact Louisiana, which is also on our YouTube channel at
Yeah.
Via Link Inc. If you are watching this on YouTube, next video over. If you are listening to us on Spotify, please go visit our YouTube channel at Via Link Inc. and watch Big Impact Louisiana and learn even more about some wonderful agencies across the state and the work that they're doing.
Yes. I love Big Impact. I watch the videos. I love it.
Thank you. We'll be coming back in February.
Awesome.
Yay! Well, Shercole, thank you so much for being with us today and having
Thank
us
you
on
guys
Real
for letting
Talk.
me on.
Oh, no
But
problem.
even just
Thank
to
you.
like see you and catch up. So, because I haven't seen you since before Christmas.
I know, right? Yeah, yeah, it was a little further before Christmas too. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I have your Christmas card hanging on my wall. So thank you. I don't know what I'm talking about anymore, but I do. So thank you so much for being with us. All right, Jesse, you ready to try for our sign off?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, this has been Real Talk with Jesse and Sherrod. No
No
filter,
filters, no
no
fluff,
fluff,
just
just
real
real
talk.
talk. Nailed it. Nailed
Yes,
it.
we did